in this video we're going to be talking about this design you see on the screen, and if you guys want to watch the actual project, make sure you follow the link in the video. Okay, let's go ahead and start working on our image. And this is the van that we have for today. This is how it looks, empty, and we got all the information that we needed from the customer. This is the name of the business is Aqua Pro Services. All the his number and the name of the business. He told me he wanted some a logo with 24-hour emergency services. The lettering, he wants some kind of like this. He also wants like the little bubbles and the little decorations that you guys see here. This is all the information that we got and that we need to be able to work on this design. Okay, the first thing that we gotta do, we gotta find a font that is easy to read. He doesn't want any houses or anything like that. We usually work on logos like that, but not today. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start typing the name of the business, which is Aqua Pro Services. And next thing, got to find a font that's easy to read. And I already know which one is going to be, but let's go ahead and find it. Oops, let me get this thing out of the way. Okay, and I'm gonna go to fonts, and this is the font that we need for today. And let me tell you something real fast about this little pop-up that you see here. It's just like an additional tool that we added to our Corel Draw. We've had this for a while, but it's more like a shortcut to other things, but I'm not gonna get into details. But here we have like different mock-ups for like t-shirts and stuff like that. We used to use this a lot back then. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. And this is the name of the business. Now what I'm gonna go ahead and start working on, it's gonna be, I'm gonna use this as a reference, I mean the original, since that's what we got. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and type in carpet, but I'm gonna do capital letters. Okay, and for his phone number, I'm gonna use a different font, but I'm gonna keep typing it, and then I'm gonna use that other font. And the reason I'm gonna use a different font for the phone number is that, as you can see here, I don't really like the bottom, how the one looks like, and I'm gonna go ahead and break them apart. And I'm gonna forget about this for now, and I just need to readjust the letters on top, and I'm gonna make them bigger, obviously, since you already know, since you can see the design that we got at the bottom. But I'm gonna go ahead and make it like that. And now the next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move this to the side, and I'm gonna make the little bubbles. I should be doing the one that's a little bit harder to make, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the bubbles. And the way you will make bubbles, just go here to the tool that you see here on the left, click it, and then click the control button and the left side button on the mouse. Okay, just like that. And the reason you hit control is that it keeps it about the same size. As you can see here, the measurements are going to be the same, the height and the width are going to be the same. That's the reason you got to keep pressing control button, just like that. See, it keeps the same measurements. And now what I need to do, I'm gonna make a little one, and I'm gonna place it about there, and do the same thing. And I'm gonna give it some color. I'm gonna make them blue, and then I'm gonna make this white. And now we got our bubbles. And I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger, and yeah, it looks good about there. So this is the easy part. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make these little decorations that you see here, and I'm gonna go ahead and, but before I do that, there's another way that you can vector your images. I mean obviously the ones that we got here are not gonna be of any use, and you will see in just a minute, but this is another way to vector them. Okay, let's go ahead and click on it and go to bitmaps, and you can go to outline trace. And let's see what happens. And again, I know that it's nothing's gonna come out, so I'm gonna have to make them from 0, and then I'm gonna go to cancel. But again, this image is not really to use any bitmaps. And this is the way I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to this tool that we see here, Bezier tool. And let me tell you, before I actually start using the tool, I'm not an expert using this tool. I just know the basics. And the reason I'm saying this is that if you are planning on starting your business, you do not need to become a graphic designer like most people think. When they get started, they think that you have to become a graphic designer, and I'm going to show you that you do not need to become a graphic designer. You just got to know the basics. I'm going to start with that, and then probably I'm going to go all the way to the end, and here I'm going to go about to the middle, and then here I'm going to go to the node here. Okay, and it's all make sure that you hit the end of it, and the way you can tell if you closed it, just select any color. Now the next thing I gotta do, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the shape tool, and you can see the nodes are highlighted. And the next thing I gotta do, I gotta turn them into curves. But before that, I need to select all the nodes, and this is how you do it. And then the next, you have to go here, convert to curves. And I'm gonna start with this, and I'm gonna do the same here, and now I'm gonna do that to this one here. Okay, and probably I can get rid of this here. Let's see what happens when you do get rid of that. And yeah, it looks good. Okay, and probably I can use the same. I'm gonna be able to use this for the other side. All you gotta do, click on it, and then on the mouse, on the right side of the mouse, just drag it down, let it go, and say copy here. And what I gotta do, I just gotta move it this way. We'll see if it's the same shape. If it's not, we can readjust it. We can just probably mess with it a little bit. Now I'm gonna do this one here, and let's go back to the shape tool here. Actually, it's not shape tool, this one here, Bezier tool, and click this one. And I'm gonna start from here and probably go all the way to here, and then I'm gonna go all the way to here, and then I'm gonna go let's see, probably all the way to here, and I'm gonna close it. Okay, now it's gonna be a little bit hard to see through it, but we'll find a way. And then now the next thing you gotta do, go to shape tool, and then make sure you select all the nodes, and again convert to curves. And I'm gonna start with this one here. Now I can lower this one, and I'm gonna repeat that. I think we got it. And let me see if I get rid of this one, what happens. No, just gotta keep playing with it until it looks good. And okay, let's go ahead and give it some color. I'm gonna use a different color so we see the difference. And then I'm gonna do the same to these ones right here, give it some color. Okay, and now I can get rid of this one, and I can use the same colors here, the green, or this is the way you can do it too. Okay, go to eyedrop, click it, and then just hit it and give it some color. And you can do the same again, color eyedropper, and then nice. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna put this on the side. Okay, now we got that part, and I'm gonna put that up here. Now the next thing we gotta do, we have to get the 24-hour emergency logo. And again, here's another way to vector your image. Let's go ahead and click on it, highlight it, go to bitmaps, and go to outline, trace, clip art, and let me zoom in. And as you can see here, probably the letters look good, but I'm not gonna use them. I'm gonna do my own. But let me just get really close, and this will need a lot of work. And the only thing I was thinking of using was the little clock thingy around it, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna have to create my own, and I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm just gonna do the red part. Okay, let's go here to our tool, Bezier tool, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with this part here. But before that, I see a little dot here. I'm gonna get rid of that. And okay, I'm gonna go back to that Bezier tool, and we can start from here to the right, and make sure you hit Control button, because you want to make sure the line is 100% straight. And then we can probably go about here, about there, and then all the way down here, and then hit Control button again, make sure the line's straight, and then we can go about there, here, and then make sure we close it all the way. Okay, and the next step will be to shape tool, and then make sure we select all the nodes, and we need to convert them to curves. But let me show you, if we don't do that step, what happens. This is what will happen if you try to curve this. See what happens? Make sure that you actually select that curve, and we'll see. That's why we got to make sure that we select curves. And alright, we started with that one, and then we can go and do the same to this here, and there. I'm not really following any order. I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing. And we'll probably need to work a little bit more on the image after we get done, and just finish and see what we need to readjust. And probably I'm gonna get rid of those two nodes and see what happens. Yep, it looks much better. And then I can probably try to get rid of those. Nope, probably just gotta get rid of one, probably just this one here. Alright, we have that part, and I'm gonna highlight it and choose a different color. And the next thing will be to make these little squares. It will be much easier if we go with the rectangle or the square tool and just trace it like that. Perfect. Give it some color, and we can probably just move that over here, and we can just go to shape tool, and you will see in a minute why. Okay, and now let's go ahead and move it a little bit, just like that. Okay, and what I'm gonna go back to this shape tool, and I'm gonna just grab this here, do the same with this end here, and move this to here, and move that one up there, and just repeat the same steps. And the reason I went to weld, this is what will happen if we do not weld them. See, this is what will happen. Repeat the same steps, and again, let's go to weld and move it here, and just keep repeating that. Now, first of all, let me just give it a different color, and I'm gonna use a different font. I'm gonna use the impact font, and now I know that I gotta replicate this one here, and I'm gonna do 2, 4, and then 7, then emergency server. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that font, the impact font, and this is what I have here, and I just want to make sure that it looks just like the sample that we sent the customer, and that's the reason I'm using the actual image here. But I'm gonna repeat that step. Service is gonna be here. I'm gonna make it about there. Okay, and now I can break them apart. I'm just gonna place this in here, place this in here. Okay, I have that, and then I can go ahead and I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna move this away, and I'm just gonna drop this over here, bring it over here. Okay, and now I'm gonna do this little shape here, and I'm gonna use two different tools. I need a rectangle, and I'm gonna start from here. Okay, and it's really important that we pay attention to the height of the rectangle, and I'm gonna give it some color. And now I'm gonna go to a circle shape, and I'm gonna start working in the center, trace it, and using the control tool to make sure that it is the same height as our rectangle. And see, I'm gonna put it there, and it's exactly the center of the circle with the rectangle, and it's gonna look like that. And our letters are gone, and this is what I gotta do. I gotta bring them to the front, the letters, and I'm gonna highlight them, and then order and bring to the front of page, and they should be in there. Nice. Okay, and I haven't combined our shapes, the circle and the rectangle, and I need to do that next. Okay, so go ahead and click on the circle, and now shift button and grab the rectangle, and now we gotta weld them. And now the next thing would be to simplify services with our shape here, and you can go here to simplify, and now I can just move it away, and now we've got our 24-hour service logo. Okay, and now I need to adjust the sizes for the numbers. Actually, let me see which font should I use, and I'm gonna use the Arial Black. Okay, perfect, and I'm just gonna make it about the same size. Okay, perfect. Okay, and up here we have different things. We got we got an outline, and the way I'm gonna do the outlines, first I'm gonna try to adjust it to the size that we have here on the van, and readjust it, and the same with this here. Okay, I'm gonna move our van for a little bit since I have everything in position, and I got the logo too, and I'm gonna give it a little darker color. And now what I have to do, I'm gonna add some contour to our letters, and I'm gonna make sure our letters are about the same distance, and same with the numbers. And the numbers, I'm gonna move them a little bit to the, yeah, and probably make them a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna leave some room in between the letters. Okay, now the next thing will be to add an outline, and we have to go to the tools here on the left and click on the contour tool, and go ahead and start pulling to the sides. And I think, yeah, there you go, we got it there. And go ahead and click on this image here. Now the next thing will be break apart, and let me show you with wireframe. You can see the outline here, and click on it just to give it a different color. And we got to repeat the same steps with the next part here. And I'm gonna go ahead and highlight it and repeat the same step. Try to make it look about the same thickness of the other one. And one thing here before you actually break apart the contour, because if you don't do that, this is what will happen. It's all in one image, and you cannot change. You can change the color, but if you wanted to add a different color to the contour, you won't be able. And the next thing will be to click outside, or click on top of the contour and break apart. Now you can give it a different color, and I'm gonna try to replicate the same colors with the one that we have here on the band, and is blue and blue, and then this part here is gonna be a green, and it's gonna be a different green, but for now let's just leave it like that. And I'm gonna repeat the steps, except I'm gonna add an extra contour to give it this kind of effect on the numbers. Okay, now the next thing will be to add contour to our numbers, and we're gonna add an extra one because we want to make sure it looks like that. Okay, and I'm gonna start with the first contour, and we already selected the number and added the contour here. Now let's go ahead and see how thick it is. Okay, good. And let's break apart our contour so we can add another color to this. We can add another contour to that, and repeat the same steps. Okay, we got it there, and repeat the same steps. Now we gotta break them apart. And now the next thing, let me show you. We have 3 different layers. We need to simplify the images, just the numbers though. And the next thing we gotta do, select them all and go to the tool that you see here, simplify. And now we can get rid of those, the inside of that, and we have our image with an outline different, not like the letters. And now let's change that green to that, and we still gotta work on it. We still gotta add some the little effects that we drew before, and add or repeat more bubbles, and all we gotta do is just readjust them, you know, like just put them on the sides and like make a copy, and you get the idea. You just gotta keep adding more and more with different colors. And now we have to adjust this little decoration here at the bottom of the numbers and make them about there. And then you can just go ahead and grab more bubbles and bring them up here. But now just gotta make sure that we add different colors, like green color. I mean, really there's no any standard. You can just keep adding more and more and copy them, and that's what we are going to do here. And let me just get really close to that. Let's see. Yeah, it looks pretty similar. and we have our 24-hour emergency logo too. And the next thing will be, since we have our picture of our van here, and we already know that the windows measure about 23 inches tall, let's go ahead and grab this tool, the rectangle or the square, yeah, that tool, this rectangle tool, and make a little rectangle here, and make sure just keep readjusting the size of the image until this measures 23 inches tall. Right now it's at 5.125, and just gotta make it like probably 4 or 5 times bigger until you get to this size here, 23.2. It's about right. And now this is really important because you got to make sure that you have an idea of how much vinyl you're going to use for that design in particular. And I'm going to move the little bubbles here, and okay, I'm going to bring the logo here. And just keep adjusting, and probably the bubbles will need to be smaller because they're way too big, but I'm not really going to worry about the bubbles because again, you can just readjust them. It has to look like that. Now if you guys want to support our channel, we have several logos for cleaning companies, remodeling companies, all kinds of logos that we are uploading. If you guys want to support our channel and our content, make sure you buy some logos through stickeraficionados.com. You will get vector logos. This is the digital sample that I sent to the customer, and let me move the actual picture of the actual project. I mean, the colors are not 100% accurate, but they are pretty close, and the size too should be almost the same. Let us know if you guys have any questions, and hopefully you learned something with this video. See you guys until the next video. Have a great day.